Hey everybody, hope this finds you doing well. Today we're just going to do a basic update on what's going on with Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market. A lot of people are trying to understand what is happening over the last few days, particularly since Bitcoin has taken a nice dip, as you can see here, 8.66% over the last 7 days, currently at $60,348. It actually dipped below $60,000 earlier today. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Bitcoin currently trading at that $60,000 range. It did dip below $60,000 for a moment earlier today. Ethereum trading at $3,346, down 4% over the past week. We have BNB down nearly 6% over the past week. Solana, it did dip below 130 and is down 6.42% over the past 7 days. XRP down 6%. Toncoin basically staying the same. Dogecoin, the biggest meme coin of them all, is currently down 6.23%, just under 12 cents. And Cardano still holding on to that top 10 spot, currently trading under 40 cents at 37 cents, down 5.34%. So if we look a little closer at what's going on with Bitcoin, you can see here that it is trading at around $60,000. We had this gradual dip since last week, and it has now come down to below 60,000, and then now it's kind of hanging in there currently at 60,000. So we talked about earlier what has been happening with Bitcoin over the last several months. It's kind of been trading in that $60,000 to $70,000 range. You can see actually earlier in May, it also dipped below $50,000 because it was right at the end of April. And so it's a possibility that it can do that again, but as long as it kind of holds in that general area, then Bitcoin still continues to look really good, and it is still in accumulation phase when you look at the charts. Now that's if you're charting, but if you're an investor and you're looking as a long-term hold, you can still see when you zoom out, year to date is currently Bitcoin is trading at over 42%, which is an amazing return for 6 months. So you got to sometimes zoom out, even though you see some of the volatility. At the end of the day, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are still a very volatile asset class, and you're going to see these drastic ups and downs. It's not unlike Bitcoin to drop 20-30%. In some cases, it has dropped as low as 60-70%. So it's not for the faint of heart, but if you look out, zoom out, no matter what, in its 15-year history, at the end of the day, it ends up going higher. So sometimes if you get a little paranoid or don't understand what's going on, make sure you do your research, your due diligence about these risk-on assets, about understanding volatility, and that actually volatility can be promising for the future of that particular asset. Of course, we're talking about Bitcoin. And when we look at year to date, it's up over 42%. When we look at over the past year, it's up almost double. When you look over the last 5 years, it's up 5x at over 411%. So if you plan to invest, just hold it. Continue to stack sats, and you will find that over time, your investment will be worth more. So obviously you need to continue to do your own research, learn as much as you can about Bitcoin and the digital asset space, particularly when it comes to the demand that continues to grow and come into the space around the world. Speaking of demand, we're going to go and look at Microstrategy. We mentioned earlier that they had planned to raise over $700 million. It ended up being around $800 million that they raised, and they recently filed a Form 8K with the SEC, which public companies have to file when they do certain trades or purchases, things of that nature. They have to report all of those types of actions with the SEC, and they have now purchased another 11,000 Bitcoin, actually more than 11,000. As you can see here, it's 11,931 Bitcoin. So they now hold over 226,000 Bitcoin, holding more than 1% of the entire supply of Bitcoin that will ever be minted. As many of you know, Bitcoin, there will only be 21 million ever mined. It is a finite, hard asset. There is no inflation except for what's happening now until we get to that 21 million. Once we get to that 21 million, There will be no more Bitcoin minted. And so this is a huge milestone as MicroStrategy, no matter what the price, they continue to dollar cost average. Their average is actually under $40,000 and they've been buying since 2020. So once again, as we mentioned, you just got to zoom out sometimes. If you continue to accumulate, if you continue to invest, if you continue to hold, then your investment, generally speaking, at least from past performance, and it is not always indicative of future performance, but we know from the history of Bitcoin, if you buy and hold, you will have more value in fiat terms if you hold Bitcoin. And we also see that another company that is now following in MicroStrategy's footsteps is MetaPlanet. Japan's MicroStrategy, which Decrypt is calling them, their name is MetaPlanet. They have now started a strategy similar to MicroStrategy in that they plan to continue to buy and hold Bitcoin and put Bitcoin on the company's balance sheet. So as you can see here, MetaPlanet could soon scoop up another 100 Bitcoin thanks to the latest price. So you can see the recent pullback has actually not shaken the faith of MetaPlanet, as well as many other Bitcoin whales and other investments who understand Bitcoin and understand the volatility of cryptocurrency and that it's actually great for the space. They announced on Sunday that they will issue another 1 billion yen in ordinary bonds, and those proceeds will be used to purchase Bitcoin. So they have a number of investors and firms that they're working with to help them with their Bitcoin strategy. And you can see here Dylan LeClaire, who is MetaPlanet's director of Bitcoin strategy, says that their aim is to provide Japanese and international investors alike the exposure to Bitcoin supercharged by the Japanese capital markets. So MetaPlanet isn't scared, MicroStrategy isn't scared, and if you are interested in investing in emerging markets and considering Bitcoin, then you shouldn't be scared either. One of the reasons why Bitcoin is potentially, or why the markets are really starting to get a little shaken, is because Mt. Gox, which is one of the first cryptocurrency exchanges that were around back in the early 2010s, they were the victim of a major hack in 2014, and a lot of the victims who had held their Bitcoin on the exchange lost all of their Bitcoin due to the hack. So now Mt. Gox has been in the process over the last 10 years trying to recover as much Bitcoin as possible, as well as trying to find ways to be able to send some of the funds, if not most of the funds, back to those investors who had left their Bitcoin on the exchange. So as you can see here, bankrupt Mt. Gox will begin their $9 billion in repayments in July, which is just next week. So they have made a filing to discuss what is going to be happening with regards to paying back those creditors. The rehabilitation trustee will commence the repayments in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash in due course to the cryptocurrency exchanges. The exchange will start repayments beginning July of 2024. So many people believe that Bitcoin could continue to see a little bit more of a drop because people who had been waiting these 10 years have a lot of Bitcoin owed to them. And so some of them may sell into this Bitcoin price. But we know that there will be a good portion of people and investors who will continue to hold, and actually Mt. Gox has held for them. So they've seen their investment rise in price in fiat terms over these last 10 years. And so they may continue to hold as well. So I just wanted to do a quick video. Sorry for the tardiness this week, but we will continue to stay and remain on schedule on X as well as IG, and continue to keep locked here on the Networkchain YouTube page. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a great start to your week. And in the meantime, take care, and we look forward to linking up with you soon on the Networkchain. Bye-bye.